r/AskReddit, if you could have a dinner party with any 5 people, living or dead, who would you invite? My mom, dead, dad, dead, brother, dead, sister, and the girl I deeply love. That way my family can all meet. I am sorry for your loss. Hope you achieve everything you desire in life. Cherish your gifts, everyone, your life is someone's wish. I'd invite Tom Hanks because he's everyone's favorite, Cleopatra to see if she's as glamorous as they say, Winston Churchill for the dramatic speeches, Amelia Earhart to finally solve the mystery, and my high school history teacher so he can meet all these people he made me write essays about. Why did your history teacher make you write about Tom Hanks? I once had to write an essay about Homo neanderthalensis. I certainly wouldn't invite those. What about the dude who was in the airplane with Amelia? No one remembers that guy. The 5 sexiest people who have ever lived. Wilford Brimley, Abe Vigoda, Alan Alda, Louis Anderson, and Ed Asner. I like your taste. We're gonna need a bigger table. Diabetes. I think I'd pick diametrically opposed people and just listen to what they had to say amongst other perspectives. Think Fred Rogers and Mussolini at a table. Something like that. I'd choose 5 of my ancestors from different times. Starting with my grandfather, who I never met, then an ancestor from 100 years ago, another one from 200 years ago, and so on. Christopher Hitchens and Kenneth Copeland would be a blast. I'll start. Many people would choose celebrities, powerful people, or people that changed the world. But I wish I could sit with my grandparents at the table once again. The stories my grandpa was telling me were boring at the time, but when I look at it now, it is really interesting how someone with same blood and last name was living and going through life experiences. You never know the value of a moment until it becomes a memory. Robin Williams, Richard Pryor, George Carlin, Liberace, Richard Simmons, and AMP, #X200B. Can you imagine the conversation, tone, jokes, one-off comments and just overall vibe? And lots of Coke. Is Pepsi okay? I'd love to be at the table with my kids when they are all grown up and their kids have children and discuss which path would our bloodline go. Living. I'd be actually enough with only 2 other people, past and future me. I can imagine the conversation would be super interesting. Grandma, Grandpa, 2 uncles, 1 aunt. My aunt died on a suicide, 1 uncle died in a truck accident, 1 uncle and my grandpa murdered, my grandma of old age. We have a lot to talk about. I also wish I had talked to them before these things happened to them. This sounds like such a wonderful dinner party, and interesting too. I also chose this guy's ancestors. Terry Pratchett, Tony Iommi, Joyce Carol Oates, Mark Twain, and Henrietta Swan Leavitt. Damn. I forgot Twain. The whole band of System of a Down. Adolf Hitler, Manny Heffley, Satan himself. Osama bin Laden, and Pol Pot. They'll be too busy arguing about who's the most evil to notice that I was gone. I would invite both my paternal and maternal grandparents, who are all dead. Then I would invite my father, who is very much alive, and then I would bow out of the dinner party and give my seat to my mom, who is also alive, because as much as I miss my grandparents it would be so much more meaningful for my parents to have one last meal with them. That one guy's wife. /S. The 5 closest hungry people. Keanu Reeves, Adolf Hitler, Jesus' stepdad Joseph, Caesar, Elvis. Reserves list is. My great-great-great-grandfather who died in WW1 though would want him after he died to ask was the few hours in France worth it? Winston Churchill. Tobey Maguire as Spider-Man. Noah who built the Ark. Dave, no idea who, just any bloke from any time called Dave. Mr. Rogers, Ben Franklin, Steve Irwin, Einstein, and Steve Harvey. The Buddha. Marcus Aurelius. Teddy Roosevelt. My 5th great-grandfather. Frederick Douglass. Don't know where your ancestors are from, but I suspect very quickly you would lose the ability to communicate with them. That would be an interesting test. I'm seeing so many interesting conversation topics about philosophy, leadership, and justice. Not sure about your 5th great-grandfather, but I'm sure he'd have some great stories to tell. Assuming we could all communicate. 1. Christopher Hitchens. 2. Octavian Caesar Augustus. 3. Friedrich Nietzsche. 4. Aristotle. 5. Ricky Gervais. Jesus, Mohammed, Buddha, Moses and the Dalai Lama. My conversation starter would be, so, what's the deal? My dad, my grandmas, and grandpas. Joe Strummer, Tupac, Beethoven, Tony Iommi, Dre. Kinda tried to focus on musical influences. If I could add a sixth, Jimi Hendrix is why I have a Strat. I know, it's overplayed. I promise my Strat sound would catch you off guard. Johan Cruyff, Franz Beckenbauer, Pele, Ferenc Puskas, and Jurgen Klopp. No need to talk about politics or anything like that, just hear stories about football and discuss the current state of the game. Steve Carell, Denis Villeneuve, Stanley Kubrick, Lars von Trier, Richard Linklater. The Donner Party. Jack Benny, Phil Harris, George Burns, James Garner, Carol Burnett. 5 cold case victims, that way we can put away their killers. Interesting. This makes me reminisce on the American Horror Story Hotel season when a detective has dinner with all the infamous criminals like Jeffrey Dahmer, Aileen Wuornos, Ted Bundy, Zodiac Killer, and John Wayne Gacy. I study forensic psychology and would be so intrigued to interrogate and get inside the minds of these infamous criminals. However, I do require they all be handcuffed with guards in the room with me. My grandma and grandpa, that's all I want. People who were alive. Definitely. Dead for sure. More food for me. Ernest Chikeldin, Nikola Tesla, Wernher von Braun, Fernand Magellan, Hyman G. Rickover. Gilgamesh, Socrates, Miyamoto Musashi, Jean-Jacques Rousseau, Sigmund Freud. Now enjoy the show. Christopher Hitchens, Penn Jillette, Olivia Colman, Graham Norton, Barack Obama. Steve Jobs, Phil Jackson, Kobe Bryant, Shohei Ohtani, Anthony Bourdain. Damn. I wish I'd thought of Bourdain. My papa, both my great-grandparents, my Aunt Jackie, and my BF. All members of my family listed have passed now, but they're people I would have loved for my boyfriend to meet, and people I'd love to see one last time. I would love to do this, but would have to learn a few different languages. My dad, my brother, my grandpa and aunt, grandma and my pastor. Good idea. I don't know who I'd pick, but for conversation's sake they would all be alive. But you could pick the worst 5 living people and have a dinner party with them, dead.
Hey guys, it's Reddit Glitch. Thanks for watching to the end of the video. I just wanted to ask you guys to hit the subscribe button because according to my statistics, 98.8% of my viewers are not subscribed, which I think you should subscribe because it's free and we're going to have a lot more bangers in the future, so subscribe. Again, thanks for watching. Bye.